words. To know wisdom, to understand knowledge, to understand dark sayings. That's what the book of Proverbs is about. To help you understand what is it that I can use to take my life forward. Then they were knowledgeable. They knew stuff. You could talk about fish, they knew about fish. You could talk about birds, they knew about birds. You could talk about water, they knew about water. They could talk about metal, they knew. They were knowledgeable. And then understanding science. Science is how things work. How do relationships work? How does marriage work? How does human population work? How does joy and excitement and passion and success? Understanding science. Because the one who understands science has the power to manipulate that which he has understanding for so that it gives them an expected, desired outcome. Ooh. You cannot manipulate that which you're ignorant about from a science perspective. To manipulate is not a bad word. It means to manage. Ooh. Number 8, able to stand before the great. Hey! Can we do a test? Take your children before the great and see if they have been trained to stand before the great. If I was to come to your home and we have supper together, how do they greet me when I arrive? When we sit at the table, how do they sit? When we finish eating and they get up, do they just get up and leave the chair the way it's supposed to be? Or do they take the chair and put it back where it belongs? Able to stand before the great. Because when you go to royalty, you are trained. Akir, Miss Mangana, you've been hanging around with royalty, ne? And I would train, this is what you do when you're with the royalty. And it's different, ne? You can't just be there saying, hey, Queenie, high five, hey, Ukraine, oh, Queen. There's a way to talk. There's a way to stand. There's a way to behave. There's a way you put your hands. There's a way you look. You've got to behave in a certain way before royalty. Have you trained your children? Many kids lose it when it comes to interviews and success and business pitches because they were not trained how to stand. They were not trained how to talk. They were not trained how to be confident. They were not trained how to have eye contact. I know these things may not seem spiritual because I'm not quoting many verses, but notice all of these are in the verse that we read. Happy Father's Day. Your Father's Days must continue to be happy, but they become happy if you train these things. Otherwise, one day we'll be saying Happy Father's Day and you'll be thinking, yo, my son ran away with his boyfriend and they're living in Cape Town. So Father's Day becomes a trauma, not a joy. Able to stand before the great. Okay. They were to be, on the next slide, they were to be, what's the time? I can carry my watch. 10:44. Okay, I've got 10 minutes, okay. 10 minutes, then we have to close. They were to be, number 1, put into a training course for 3 years. Fathers, I want to challenge you. From today, start training your children. Put them on a training course. If you don't know what to train them, buy my book, Life Skills for Kingdom Kids. It's structured to be nice and simple. You just follow the pattern. Who else is in Zoe? You're the only one in Zoe. 2 of you are in Zoe. Okay, you must buy your life skills book from those 2. We have a deal. One of the life skills we're teaching them is, I published the book. Too loud. They are selling it for me. Why? Because I'm teaching them a life skill. You're supposed to be teaching them. But now me, I have to teach your children how to sell. So buy life skills of Kingdom Kids from them. You put your orders with them. And the profits go to them, by the way. So I'm empowering them in business, but I'm also empowering them financially. We've structured financial goals. What is your goal in the next 3 months in terms of how much money you want to have? Then I said, okay, you want to have that much money. How many books do you have to sell? So they have targets. They've put business model canvases. They've put a business model together. See, that's training. See, black kids are disadvantaged. They only start touching money when they get to varsity and they get a grant. Now you get this 3,000 rand grant and it's the first amount of money oyibambayo. Vele usuhlanya. Uhlanya nge 3,000 rand. Lose it for 3,000 rand. Now I must do my hair, nails, hair, outfit. Because there's no training. Train up your child in the way they should go. They were number 2, to be taught in